Game 3 of the current series. If you've not seen the preceding games, you should probably check them out first. Link in the description, as well as in a button on the video. Game 3 now between EG's IdrA and Millennium's Feast in the Pool Play and Pool D at the IEM World Championships. They're of course tied 1-1. Now Millennium's Feast, our Belgian player, is the red Protoss up in the northeast position here on Cloud Kingdom, while EG's IdrA, the American Zerg in the blue, is spawning down in the southwest. Now this is almost, this almost doesn't seem real to me. Cloud Kingdom, that's the game, that's the map that you see on the GSL, you know, when we stay up until ridiculous hours of the night, not one that we actually see a game personally,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's odd to see a replay from on here, but I do like the map, so I'm glad to see it making its way to some of the more foreign tournaments. Pretty quick scout probe again with another pylon at the natural.
Yeah, Feast's coming out with a very early probe this time. Probe already arriving in IdrA's base now.
Finding out that IdrA has spawned a Zerg.
It tends to happen.
I miss our random players from the beta tournaments.
Now this probe is feeling ambitious. It is trying to knock down the hatchery.
Very ambitious. The spawning pool went down fairly quickly. The probe didn't actually see it though, so he's out checking for the natural. It's just barely out of his vision range, and I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, the probe is resuming what has been typical in both the games before this. Patrol of the natural to try and delay that. 2 drones coming out here to scare him away. Will we see the pylon again?
Seeing a lot of hits.
Ooh. Yeah,
he's not going to be able to drop a pylon.
Yep, the hatchery was only very minimally delayed that time. But the probe does not die. He runs away. Once again, down to 5 health. But yeah, IdrA able to take his expand a little more smoothly this time.
Yeah. Not really sure what to do when it goes that smoothly. I was worried he'd GG out for a second.
He really, you have issues with him.
I'm not going to pretend to have ever been much of an IdrA fan, but Cybercore going down at the wall off for Feast, as well as the cannon.
Anyway, IdrA only did not get forced to build any extra Zerglings that time. He just made 2 this time. In the past, he's made 4 and 6, I believe, because of the pylon that had to be knocked down.
Yeah.
Now, Feast looks like he's just about getting ready to drop his own Nexus. The probe is in position now. There, yep, minerals at 400, and he drops the Nexus. Right after his first cannon and the Cybernetics core had finished. Cybernetics core already working on warp gate research.
IdrA does drop his 3rd again, so again a very quick 3rd, just same build he's done the last 2 games.
Yep, going for that macro-oriented play that he is famous for.
I think the biggest difference so far this game is that Feast is still only on 1 gas in his main, and none of his natural, so he's a little bit slower on the gas. Has not yet started producing a sentry.
Now,
but he's already getting ground upgrades.
Now Feast is sending a probe down around the edge of the map. He's now hanging out at the southeast location.
Yep, there's another one up in the northwest doing a similar sort of edge of map exploration.
Yeah, getting ready to try to hide some tech or simply drop a proxy pylon. Yeah, let's see.
Maybe just exploring.
Exploring the same little spot over and over. Oh, Zergling comes in and sees it, and that's going to chase the probe away. Meanwhile, Feast's natural has just finished.
As has IdrA's 3rd.
Chronoing out that warp gate research, also about halfway done with weapons 1.
Yep, 3 new gateways in the main finishing up.
Yep, he is now up to 4 gateways. The warp gate research is just finishing.
Roach Horn about halfway done.
Now Zergling's trying to knock down some of these proxy pylons that are set down in the, across the southern side of the map, or southern edge of the map.
Yep.
They don't
Zealots get warped in.
Well, they did see all of them actually, but they only knocked one down. And yeah, here come the Zealots. There are
3 spine crawlers are about to finish.
First spine crawler finishes, up to 5 Zealots. They briefly engage the Zerglings. A few more Stalkers are warping in now. Or a few Stalkers warping in, not more Stalkers. So 5 Zealots and 3 Stalkers, with the 4th Stalker now on the way. Once again pushing in here. Now the 3 spine crawlers are done. There's a few Zerglings here as well. A couple Roaches finishing. One of the spine crawlers uproots to try and get a little closer. Drones get pulled to go hide behind the statue of the Queen. Spine crawlers continue to push forward. Zerglings pushing in.
Yep, 10 Zerglings left.
No Protoss casualties inflicted yet, and 2 more Stalkers getting warped in, bringing the Stalker count to 6.
Yep, more Roaches getting added into this force. It's up to 7 here. Shuffling the spine crawlers around a little bit.
Yeah, uproots 2 spine crawlers at the same time, giving Feast a moment to engage in a little bit, but now he's being forced down the ramp as more Roaches arrive.
Yep, up to 12 Roaches.
Yep, 2 of the Zealots have died, leaving 3. And Feast is retreating. A couple more Stalkers get warped in. Now, Roaches are coming over to try and knock down these proxy pylons. They start working on the first one, but here come the Protoss forces to try and push them back, and they do push them back. The Zealots,
yep, 9
unfortunately,
sentries, 3 Zealots. Against 11 Roaches, so they are just going to get sort of pushed back to these spine crawlers. Spine crawlers taking out one of the good Stalkers.
Yeah, Feast now
2 Zealots go down.
Keeping his Stalkers out of the spine crawler range, loses the Zealots. Warps in a few more Zealots, though. IdrA's up at 80 to Feast 70. And Feast has 46 probes to 36 drones.
Yeah, behind the scenes, chrono boosting, producing probes.
Stalkers once again pushing in here, exchanging a few shots with Roaches. Zerglings coming in, chasing the Protoss forces back by the proxy pylon. Another Zealot getting added. A bit of shoot and scoop micro on the part of the Stalkers here. Now IdrA pulling back to his creep, and Feast following him.
Robobait getting started, Twilight Council just finishing. And if nothing else, Feast is forcing a lot of army unit production, so he's not getting a whole lot of droning going on right now. Up to 54 probes to 40 drones.
Yeah, no, IdrA is moving out across the map. He's going to catch a few Zealots and a Stalker with some Zerglings, but there are more Stalkers here to support, and he doesn't end up killing them so cheaply. But now the Roaches come in from behind, and they're continuing to push Feast back. Getting a couple more Zealots in the retreat. Feast has a nice wall here that he should be able to hold, though. IdrA's pushing into it, though. Catches a couple Stalkers outside the wall. And pulls back for the moment, not wanting to engage into those defenses. There are 11 Stalkers and 1 Zealot out here, versus 27 Zerglings and 24 Roaches. Some of the Zerglings and Roaches are just now trickling in, though. Stalkers getting a few shots in. Roaches going for getting this Forge, which is working on the +2 weapons upgrade. The Forge will go down. +2 weapons is prevented. And Zerglings trying to stream in now. Force Field stops them.
Yeah, Force Field replacing the Forge on the wall.
Yeah, a lot of the Roaches still able to shoot, but not necessarily optimal targets. An Immortal has popped out, and Feast does force him back. IdrA is in full retreat.
Yeah, it was just a terrible angle for IdrA once the Forge was replaced with the Force Field. He was having 1 or 2 Roaches shooting at a time against the entire Stalker force.
Now he is going back and cleaning up those proxy pylons now.
Yeah, but this has given Feast the chance to catch up on supply, or nearly catch up, 105 to 117 now.
Yeah, now pushing across the map with a more substantial army. 1 Sentry, 1 Immortal, a few Zealots, and a bunch of Stalkers. 21 Stalkers and 5 Zealots. Versus still 25 Roaches and 29 Zerglings, though. And there continue to be these 3 Spine Crawlers. Now Feast is pushing in towards IdrA's third. So the 3 Spine Crawlers are here, one of them is rerouting. Roaches are being held back. Feast pulling back down to the bottom of the ramp, also establishing a couple more proxy pylons right down here on the low ground.
Yep, 1 free Roach there for the Stalker army. They've got... ended up deciding to meet up with the others by going outside of the base.
More Zealots warping in as Feast marshals a larger force here, and now he pushes up, engaging the Spine Crawlers. Here come the Roaches and Lings. Couple force fields. Kind of ward the Zerglings off as Feast once again pulls back a little bit to the bottom as he warps in more Stalkers.
Yeah, force fields aren't really accomplishing a whole lot there, though.
Now he's moving around towards IdrA's Natural. IdrA expected it. He's knocking down the destructible rocks. Or just taking a few shots at it anyway. Now he's knocking it down. Now the ramp to IdrA's Natural is wide open. IdrA moves in with a massive number of Roaches and Zerglings. A couple force fields, cutting them up a little bit. Still, many of the Roaches able to shoot. Massive number of Roaches just pushing down to the Stalker force. Mostly Stalker force. The Immortal goes down. Now sentries are being caught in front of the Stalkers. The Stalkers use Blink Micro. Stalkers are starting to take the advantage, and another large warp into Stalkers are reinforcing. Roaches pull back onto the creep. And now the Stalkers are coming. Up to 28 Stalkers here. 21 Roaches. Roaches pushing forward once again. Stalkers still hold the advantage in this engagement, though.
Yep. They have one upgrade to ground weapons. There's unupgraded Roaches.
Yeah, more engagements of Stalkers versus Roaches here. A few more Stalkers arrive. Up to 34 Stalkers now.
Feast doing a lot of Blink Micro to save himself some damage. IdrA GG's out.
Yep, IdrA not able to stop that Stalker number. For those Stalker numbers.
Yeah. Sort of getting outmassed by the 2-base pressure again, just like it was in Game 2.
That gives the series to Feast 2-1, as they both went on and continued pool play.